Hey, listen, if you're watching this video, it means that you probably want to be an entrepreneur, or maybe you already are an entrepreneur. But what if I told you there's another level, a special kind of entrepreneur that achieves at a higher level? I want to show you what that is. Come on, I'm going to show you. So what is an entrepreneur and why would you want to go to another level? Well, let's start here. An entrepreneur is anybody that chooses to and actively pursues creating income and lifestyle through means other than the traditional employer-employee relationship. That just means anybody that chooses to go out and create a business or to create a side business or something where they're making money and they're not punching the clock and they're not, making somebody else rich, they're helping making themselves rich. That's kind of a standard understanding of what it is. And that's great. And you can be an entrepreneur part-time, you can be an entrepreneur full-time, but either way, if you're creating income, if you're creating your lifestyle in any other way other than paying somebody else or punching somebody else's clock, then you're an entrepreneur. But understand what I said, and this is critical, because there are a lot of people that say, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur because, I have this business. But if you're not creating income, and if you're not actively pursuing it, then you are wannabe entrepreneur. And so there's another level. And the other level is something that I call a megapreneur. And a megapreneur is somebody that is an entrepreneur, but they're the entrepreneur that operates in that upper 2 to 5% of everybody in their field, in whatever it is that they do, by the way. Because, and again, with that same caveat that they're creating income and they're creating lifestyle by generating that income and lifestyle through means other than a traditional employer-employee relationship, but they're doing it and they're operating. And so if you think about it, there are business owners. There's some businesses that dabble, meaning that they're doing okay, but then there's always people that are at that upper level. You know what I'm talking about, the Jeff Bezos and the Elon Musk and all of those people. Those are megapreneurs. And all that comes along with this. So today I'm going to talk to you about that. Now there's several things, but today I'm going to talk to you about the two main things that a megapreneur possesses, the qualities that they possess and that they do that make them a megapreneur, that sets them apart from the average person. And with those two things, this is the starting ground. This is the foundation that you have to have. And if you look at any megapreneur, you go back and you take a look at anybody that is at the top of their field, you're going to find that they always have these two things. Now, by the way, at the risk of sounding arrogant, I consider myself a megapreneur. And what I mean by that, in the field that I'm in personal development and in psychology, I've been operating at that level for almost 3 decades now of everybody in my field. And there's ways that I go about doing that, but I also know when I learned this that I'm about to show you, it made all the difference in the world. And I went back and I started focusing on those things. And the first one is, and by the way, you might do yourself a favor by taking notes while you do this, because as you write something down, you actually start to embed it into your nervous system. You actually start to embed it into your psychology. And the first one is vision. If you don't have vision, and we've all heard about it, if you don't have vision, and you don't have anything. But what is vision? And how do you get it? Most people, when you think about vision, you think about, okay, a vision is, I have this vision of the way the future is going to be. And that's great. You got to have that. That, to me, is more outcome. Outcome, you know what you want. You know what you're going to get. You know we're going to have it. And all of those things, to be specific about it so that you can focus on all of those things. But vision is a little bit different. Vision lives inside of you. Vision is what makes you get up early and stay up late and do the extra stuff. It is the pull. It's the carrot on the stick that pulls you towards what you want. And so you got to say, okay, what is my vision? And a vision is anybody that, well, let me put it this way. A vision is that goal, that outcome that lives inside of us, but how it gets put inside of it is very, very simple. A vision is different than a dream. As a matter of fact, we all have dreams. Because when I ask people all the time, I say, what is your dream? They say, well, my dream is to be a billionaire. My dream is to be a millionaire. My dream is to be at the top of my game, of that kind of thing. And all I have to do is ask them, how often do you think about that? They say, well, all the time. And I say, describe it to me. And they 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, they go like this. Okay, well, it's this. And they make it up there right on the spot, which tells me that they don't really think about it all the time or they don't have the detail about it. But I want you to think about it like this. A dream is temporary. And what that means is that we all dream. Most people don't even remember what you dreamt about yesterday. Most people don't remember what you daydreamt about yesterday or even 20 minutes, a half hour ago. It's temporary. It goes away. It may feel good in the moment, but it doesn't live inside of you. Therefore, it is periodic, meaning that you're not feeling it all the time and you're not moving towards it all of the time. It's not something that lives inside of you. But a vision is something that is visited more often. A dream is something that is visited every once in a while with a little bit of emotional intensity, or if there's a lot of emotional intensity, it goes away. But a vision is a dream or an outcome or a goal that is visited often, that is continually visited with emotional intensity, excitement, joy, expectancy, positive expectancy about it, to the point that it becomes a belief inside of us, that we don't have to think about it. It starts to run as our unconscious or our subconscious operating system, if you will. And it's super simple the way to do that. And the way that you do that is this. First off, I always say, and I said this earlier, and there's a reason why I said this, what you write is what you invite. Write it down. Write down your dream, your goal, your desire, whatever it is. Write it down so you have it in front of you. And then allow yourself, and this is, by the way to embed it inside your nervous system, and this is what's critical, and this is why this is so important, to embed it inside your nervous system so it becomes real to you, it becomes a belief, is you visit it often. What that means is I use my cell phone all the time, and I'll set an alarm on my cell phone. And that alarm, when it goes off, guess what? I have it right there on the phone, or I go look what I wrote down, and I just view it, I read it out aloud, and I will say to myself that, and I'll see it in my mind, and I'll allow myself to get excited about it as though it's there. We all have an imagination. If you watch any of my stuff, you know that our imagination is what fuels us. We can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not when we vividly imagine it. And so imagine it. Allow yourself to get excited about it. Imagine as though it's there right now. See it, say it over and over again. Move your body, get excited about it. And when it's done, pat yourself on the back and go about it. Set your alarm again. So in the next hour, you get up and you do it again. It takes you just a few minutes. You do this just for a few days. I recommend doing it for like 10 days, maybe 4 or 5 times a day, and get excited about it. Repetition is the mother of all skill. And then it becomes a vision and it lives inside of you. And then guess what? You sleep with it. Every waking hour, it's inside of you. It drives you, and it's just like, oh yeah, I was about that. Oh yeah, I was going to do that. That quality is what all megapreneurs have. And that one fuels everything. It gives you the energy, it gives you the psychology, it gives all of those things that you need to become a megapreneur. And once you have your vision and it lives inside of you, that leads to and fuels the second most important thing that all megapreneurs have. Not some, not most, but all. And that is purpose. Now, when we hear about purpose, it's like most people feel like, well, what is my ultimate purpose on this planet? That's not what it is. First off, I want you to know that your purpose is just a feeling. It's an emotion that you have. But I want you to think about it like this. It is the feeling that you have that is attached to your reasons why. Why you're doing what you do. Because listen, we don't have just one purpose. Nobody does. We got many, many purposes. If you're a parent, your purpose on this planet is to raise and love and take your children from point A to point B. You know, we all have many, many purposes. And so you can have many, but why are you doing what you're doing? When you look at somebody that is, a millionaire or a billionaire, across the board, when you get enough money, guess what they do? They don't just sit on it and squander it and keep it for themselves. They do things for other people. I've had the privilege in my life of being around a lot of wealthy people, a lot of megapreneurs. And here's what all of them have. They have a reason why they started this thing. And by the way, that purpose can change through time as they do things, because you can accomplish some of those things. Building schools, your purpose may be for your immediate circle, to build a financial wall around your family, to take care of yourself, to do something for others, charity, things like that. That's where the purpose comes in. Why to do that? Because if money is just, your outcome. If you just want to have money, then guess what's going to happen? Not only are you going to sabotage yourself all the way there, but when you get there and you have the money, it's going to be empty. You've heard that so many times. Now, people always say to me, well, Joseph, if money's not everything, listen, I want to try that out for myself first. And that's great. I want you to do that. But I'm just telling you, you want the shortcuts? You want to be a megapreneur? You want to be in that upper 3 to 5%? Get your purpose early. Say to yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Is it just so that I have these so that you can have more dough, more money? Or you're doing it because you want to help other people, because you want to be an example for other people so that they can do it as well. And lastly, I'll say this about this. And obviously, there's more to being a megapreneur. But number one, get your vision. I told you how to do that. Number two, get a purpose. And it can be anything that sets you up. But here's what I want to say, is this, that just knowing it is not enough. It's not. You can have all the knowledge in the world. You can have all the information in the world. But if you don't do something with it, then guess what? You're going to stagnate. And that's where most people is. Because this may make sense to you. But for you, here's what I want you to do. Here's your assignment, if you will, if you'll allow me to give you one. And that is to sit down and do that. Figure out what your vision is. And it doesn't matter, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter, there's no judgment about it, whatever your vision is. Write it down and then put it inside of you, like I said, and then determine why you're doing this. And what happens is you start to have that internal drive. It changes your physiology, it changes your psychology, it changes everything about you, and you'll make much more of a difference, and you'll happily achieve. So if you enjoyed this and you want to go deeper into becoming a megapreneur, I wrote about it in my book called Dare to be Magnificent. There's actually an exercise in it that's going to help you do this. And I want you to have this book. It's absolutely free. Just take care of the shipping and handling on that. It'll ship right to you. So thank you for watching this video. And I really want to make sure that you get that you can do something about this. You can change wherever you are to where you want to go. So make sure that you subscribe. Click on the bell to make sure that you get notified it's coming up. And make sure you watch the next video that's coming up here as well. And I'll see you at the top.